I can play music for the baby in any room.
Can you play Ride the Lightning by Metallica?
What's up, everyone? DJ Anubis
And DJ Neko.
with you on an Ultimate Podcast with a new segment called The Cultureverse Mindset.
Can you play Ride the Lightning by Metallica?
All she cares about that one piece of the intro.
Well, you did it for me, didn't you?
I did.
That's one of my favorite movies, Silver Linings Playbook. And that scene right there just cracked me up the first time I saw it because, you know, they're trying to be, now granted, this is when it was iPods, you know, before Bluetooth or any of that. And she's trying to be all like, look at us, we can play our iPod in any room. And he's like, we're going to play music for the baby in any room. And he's like, can you play Ride the Lightning by Metallica?
So anyway, the Cultureverse Mindset is basically very similar to Global Unscripted, only this is more centered around like history of news, pop
Current
culture,
events.
current events. So it's not really so much the drama aspect, although we might touch on it here and there. But most of the stuff we're talking is going to just be like, you know, funny stories or weird stories of the week.
Especially things about like entertainment and music news, things that like
it's almost like, what would you say? It was like the MTV
MTV News.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that, although we're going to be just kind of going back in history as well, talking about like things that have happened this month in history. The idea is to try to do like 2 of these a month, just to kind of give you all an idea of some of the stuff that's
going on now, stuff that we need to remember. I mean, I hope I'm not like spoiling anything, but I did bring this up. Year Zero came out 13 years ago. And for me, I love the band Ghost. I feel like I've loved the band Ghost before, like before they became more mainstream. And I wore out that album. So when I sit there and say to myself, oh, it's nice to remember 13 years ago, you know, the video for Year Zero was tremendous, like absolutely tremendous. And I enjoyed watching it. And I that's the kind of stuff I want to bring to the table. I want everybody to start thinking about like, all right, we do have a lot of drama going on in everybody's daily life, but like fun stuff like Year Zero came out 13 years ago. when all the ladies took off their bras. Like, come on now.
Right. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about stuff that's happened, stuff in the news. Like one of the first things we're going to kind of discuss is how James Labrie of Dream Theater slips and falls on the stage.
Did you get the video?
No, I was going to try to, but here's the funny thing about this.
I watched the video.
He's done this twice now. He did this in 2012 as well. So he has a hard time walking.
Is it he has a hard time walking, or is there like fucking, pyrotechnics or shit all over the...
Well, from this video that I did see, no, he was just kind of like, fist pumping and walking around, and then just ends up slipping on the stage a little bit. It's only like an 8 second. Yeah.
Oh, that's so mean, but so funny. But hey, musicians, they're just like us.
Yeah, well, it's funnier when it's like, people that are...
And he's not hurt. It's
yeah. It's not like Rockstar when he falls down a bunch of steps. Yeah. But yeah, so the article by, I think this is Blabbermouth, that put this one out. So yeah. And I do have video. Let me see if I can actually pull
Oh, will it let you play it? Oh, there it is.
That's alive. I think they might have had it, but then it's not there anymore because I don't see it. But either way, I did see it. It was kind of funny. But he wasn't hurt or anything. I think he kind of just kept playing off it and, throwing his fist up while he's on his ass. But yeah, some of these guys, and I've always wondered that too, because, being on stage sometimes it's dark. You got strobe lights going, so you can't really see what's going on, like while you're moving around and rocking it out. And so I know my eyesight's bad enough as it is. I would probably fall on my face.
Dude,
I'd probably fall off the fucking stage.
As soon as dusk happens, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to probably go down into a ditch on the way home.
That's why I said we're kind of like dragons, where we from dusk is like we can't really see that while our eyes are adjusting and all that. So
it was at the Met in Philly too. That's hysterical. Oh.
But yeah, some other things that happened at Necco found in 2015, Elton John lost his cool during a performance of Gloucester's Kingsholm Stadium in England after he likened the steward to Hitler as she tried to stop crowds from surging forward during a gig. So he says, I went on to say, it's not China. And he picked out a female steward telling her, you put a uniform on, you think you're Hitler. Well, you're not. That's what he said.
Oh my God. Sir Elton John is a treasure. He is, I think about, for us, since it's 2025 now, like it's a whole different world than 1975. Like when Elton John was like really starting to rise to fame and all. You don't realize, for us, like the trials and tribulations and everything that he must have had to go through, right? And we saw the biopic about him. So he is so witty and so sharp, and I swear to God, like I am mega jealous of this, but my mom got to see the Billy Joel and Elton John tour, where they both were touring together, like doing dueling pianos. And I hate my life, but I was, a teenager and I was not invited. Adults only. Oh my God. But I really think that Elton, please, you be you. Keep doing that. The next
First
time.
exposure to Elton John, definitely during the 70s. Obviously, I'd heard the music, but not really put together. My first, putting him to music was in the 80s for I'm Still Standing, which,
Still standing.
But my first, seeing him was in Tommy, doing Pinball Wizard.
Ever since I was in
But that movie at the time as a young kid is horrific. Like I'm scared shitless of the fucking movie. But yeah, but it's funny because I kept thinking about scenes back then. So because you're so young, you sometimes would mix movies up. So there's a part where obviously where some of the people. I think it's actually Oliver Reed who's in the film, and he has like a bottle smashed over his head, so he's got a little bit of blood coming down. But I, like for whatever reason, growing up, I kind of mixed that with maybe Carrie, and so the shit going on there. So whenever someone mentioned Tom, I was like, no, I don't want to watch that movie. I don't want to watch it.
For me, I my first exposure to Elton John was probably in the womb. My mom was big, loved Elton John. Like, I mean, big time Elton John fan. Pretty much as big of a Black Sabbath fan as, which is kind of an odd combo, but still kind of cool. So I always knew so many Elton John songs. And the one thing that really used to crack my mother up. So, you know, there's that song Leave On by Elton John. He was born a pauper to a pawn on a Christmas day. And in the 90s, there was that show, The State, right? Yeah. They had Barry and Lavon. And I kept like, I kept calling the song Lavon. And my mom's like, no, it's He Shall Be Levon. So she used to like crack up at that. She's like, it is Levon, not Lavon, not Barry and Lavon.
Leviosa. Just a quick note, Mr. Tony and I did a review of The Witchmaker not too long ago on the Ghouls of Midnight, so I did order it because I really love this cover.
Oh, that's really, do they have a poster?
I don't know. I haven't opened it up, but obviously when Tony, I actually put this image on my thumbnail, but did not realize it actually was part of this, and Tony had said it was, so I tracked it down and got it.
That is a really cool image. Yeah. That would make a cool poster if they had it.
Very much, yeah. So the next article to talk about a little bit is...
What do you got?
Sleep Token is the second hard rock band to hit #1 in 3 weeks.
You know who the first one was?
Yes.
Ghost.
Yep.
So what's really interesting about all of this, too, is vinyl sales. Vinyl sales are killing it right now. Like media, like physical media is not like nobody cares, but you know, like us vinylaholics who we buy the tapes, we buy the vinyl because we're collecting them and we enjoy them. And me, sometimes I love when I find an old vinyl in a secondhand store and it has somebody's name on it. It says like Billy 1978. And I'm like, this is like an original pressing. I really get excited about stuff like that. But knowing now that we are really starting to press vinyl again, I mean, it died out a lot. It died out so much that my mom gave me all of her vinyls and I'm like, what do I need these for? I have everything on CD.
Yeah, she did the dumb thing.
Yeah. And I gave them to my friend who was like an actual DJ. Like he, you know, wiki DJ kind of guy. So I gave all of the vinyl to him because I'm like, he will actually use it. I'm going to keep it in a box. And I smack myself in the head daily because she had the one that like kills me is I think it was Led Zeppelin 3 and it had the twisty and it had like a little twisty thing, and she had her entire 8th grade class like sign it. You know, what do teenagers know? But yes, Sleep Token is killing it.
I did get a chance to hear the new Ghost album. It's very, very good. Much better than the last one, actually. So I was really quite pleased with the direction the band went, coming back around.
I'm loving that hard rock is breaking the Billboard Top 100. You know, we're so used to so much of the new age hip hop that is hitting the top 100. You know, I like Sleep Token. I'm not like a mega fan, but I really do like that we're seeing these hard rock bands are starting to kind of, I don't want to say become mainstream, but just think about like late 90s, early 2000s. That was a big thing. It was, you got the Korn, you got the Limp Bizkit, you've got the Linkin Park, you've got all of that, which was kind of like the whole nu metal Static X scene that was happening, and it was really, really popular. Okay, 25 years later, we've got Ghost, we've got Sleep Token, and I'm here for it. I really am, because I want to hear bands with instruments and not just a bunch of like overdubbing and auto-tuning. And God bless the pop stars, and they're great and they have an image, but
It's all about the rock and metal.
yeah, give me the rock and the metal. I mean,
and you can find this article on NPR if you're looking to read up on it and everything. But yeah, so it's very cool to see, these bands like breaking in there, and even if it's a little bit unorthodox, because Ghost, obviously, the singer has his history back in like death metal and stuff like that. So ever since he's been doing this
Repugnant.
band, yep,
Yeah, he was in Repugnant, and I think the thing for me with Ghost, growing up Catholic, is the whole tongue-in-cheek of everything that they do. Some people feel like sacrilegious. They feel like it's taking a stab at the religion. But I swear, especially the first 3 albums, like, what's his name? Travis?
Stone.
No. The
Oh, I don't remember.
I forgot his name. He really, like, when he was writing the lyrics and stuff, he really thought about this, because he's trying to be like satirical. He's trying to be tongue in cheek. That's why he's not Pope. He's Papa Emeritus. And it's really not like poking fun at Catholicism. It's more of a satire on,
it is
on Catholicism.
especially with the videos and stuff.
Mhm.
It's basically just putting a reflection to how easy it is to get brainwashed and engrossed.
Not
in
even
cults
so much
and
that
religion.
he really like started breaking down things and like the names of some of the songs, and then when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, listen to you name that. I the third album is the one that really did it for me. I'm like, he is really trying to be clever, and that's what I dig. And again, I don't think he's being sacrilegious. I don't think he's making fun. I think he's
He's making
it's like
fun.
yeah, it's satire. It's more like Saturday Night Live. It's not about
But the fact
hurting
is that
feelings.
despite the imagery and the lyrical content, like a lot of people are buying into it, like just in general, like it doesn't matter that not really a lot of metalheads don't even know the past. They just know this band. And so he's reached like a whole kind of new audience.
It's the truth, because I know our first opportunity to see Ghost, you and I were like, who are these dudes? And it was
you
like,
got a lot of yuppies in there. Yep. A lot of yuppies. Some other notes that Miss Neko has given us is from 1977. Led Zeppelin played the first of 6 sold out nights at Madison Square Garden in New York City during their 11th and final North American tour, playing a 3-hour set. Tickets cost $8.50 to $10.
3 hours in Madison Square Garden with Led Zeppelin.
That's awesome.
That is amazing.
But that also tells us one thing, because we've talked about before. We saw Ghost probably about 2015 at the Fillmore, and it was just them and one opening band. That opening band played for maybe 30 minutes. They played for 2.5 hours, and they played all their shit at that point. That's the best way to watch bands. Like, I'm usually one that's like, give me 3 or 4 great bands, but at this time nowadays, I'm like, just give me one really good band. Like, I can watch Priest play for 3 hours.
Well, that's every time we've seen Judas Priest, it's been like that. And the one time when Alice Cooper opened, so we had Alice Cooper, who's amazing, by the way, for an hour and a half, and then we had Judas Priest.
That was actually Maiden that year.
Was it Maiden?
Yeah, Cooper opened for Maiden, the one Maiden tour.
It was Queenstrike. Queensryche opened for Judas Priest.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the same thing. It's like you got Queensryche open for Priest. You have Alice Cooper opening for Maiden. Okay, that's perfect. Absolutely fine. Just amazing. What are you doing, honey?
Speaking of Tommy, 1969, The Who released their fourth album, Tommy, which entered the UK chart, peaking at number 2. And one of two full-scale rock operas from The Who, Quadrophenia from 73. Good movie, good soundtrack, good live performances from The Who for that. I remember that a lot. So
it was really psychedelic, and I can understand as a kid, like when you would see it, it would kind of scare you. Like,
yeah, because it's not.
It's fantastic. It's fantasy. It's fantastical.
It was designed more for your young adults, teens, and 20-somethings. But obviously my babysitter was in her 20s, so
your babysitter took you to everything.
Oh, she was awesome. Like if I could find a way to find her just to say you were awesome, I would. But yeah, so that's pretty much some of that news there. We got that.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. I kind of love though, like, because back to Elton and The Who, Elton has his own version, and The Who has their own version, and I have a version of the Neko Cat right here, who's being a little naughty girl right now.
Here's something that I'm not sure will be quite as good. So you have Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne's farewell gig in Birmingham next month. We'll be live streamed globally. Find out how you can watch the greatest metal show ever. And the problem is, Ozzy is really in his twilight, and I mean really in his twilight. The guy's gone through some medical issues, and I don't want to sell him short because this is really basically one show that he needs to just kind of gear up for. But
I don't think he's the original Black Sabbath. Right. Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, Bill Ward.
Yeah. But
look at young Ozzy. Look at him.
I have concerns that he, isn't really going to. Sometimes, like we talked about this in the past with Robert Plant, he won't sing Zeppelin anymore because he can't sing Zeppelin.
He said, I won't. No.
He says, I won't go and embarrass myself or anybody else or give fans a bad show just because I can't do it anymore. And I respect that enormously.
Well, Led Zeppelin goes up 3 octaves higher than Ozzy.
Right. But like also, I say this about Axl Rose and Vince Neil. These guys are dragging their carcasses out there. And even though people are willing to pay to see them, it's more for nostalgia. But I don't think the shows are very good, in my opinion. Like when I listen to the feeds that I see.
You know who we thought was good, though? Loverboy.
That's a lot different. But if they can still do it, great.
He did not look like Loverboy.
I heard Dawkins some time ago. Not very good. So, Don Dawkins, I love.
Well, it says here that Tom Morello is the events musical director. So I know he's got Ozzy in his best interest. Tom Morello and Ozzy,
As long as Sharon's not involved, I think it'd be okay. We know Sharon will be involved.
She will be involved, and she, listen. I feel like they'll wheel him out in a wheelchair and set it on fire.
So they're kind of treating this almost like another Ozfest because it's going to have some supporting bills, including Metallica, Tool, Guns N' Roses, Slayer, Mastodon. You even have Billy Corgan, Fred Durst, Davis, Wolfgang, Van Halen.
They're going to do like Perpetua. A whole. This is more like a
I do like that they put Jake E. Lee in there. Thank you for doing that.
This is a send-off. This is like Ozzy's retirement. That's what this is.
Yeah.
These are people that he's worked with. These are people who respect him. You got Fred Durst and Jonathan Davis, like my 2 favorite people in the world.
Well, it seems like it's a lot of people that were on Ozfest over the years, and so that's kind of cool. Plus, probably just good friends of Ozzy as well. So,
and I am looking in the positive light. Like, I really hope that this is good for Ozzy. Like, I want to see this, and I want it to be good. Yeah. I don't want it to be like an embarrassment to him, but I hope that Sharon and Ozzy both would not do this and make it look like
Yeah,
decrepit
I
Ozzy.
do hope that he's healthy enough to at least do this show. Like, and that's good because if he can do it, pull it off, at least he can go out with a great hurrah and not be embarrassed or anything like that. Just kind of go out there and put on a good show and then call it a day.
I mean, it could even be something simple. He doesn't have to bite the heads off of bats or doves anymore. He can just go out there, and even if he needs to sit on a stool and relax, Ozzy has a very cool and unique voice.
Right.
So just to enjoy him, even when he does like his ballads, like it's just a cool and unique voice. And I only want this to be amazing. And I want what would be cool is if all of these other supporting acts were doing some Black Sabbath songs and supporting them and just uplifting Ozzy and saying, come on guys, yeah, let's sing No More Tears,
Right.
something like that would be fun. And I hope that's what they do, because Ozzy's the Prince of fucking Darkness. He deserves to have his retirement,
I'm the
right?
Prince of motherfucking Darkness, Sharon.
Bubbles, Sharon. Oh, I swear to goodness. My mom has always been a big Black Sabbath fan, but like when that reality show hooked.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
She absolutely just.
But I really have to kind of give it to Ozzy and Sharon in a lot of ways because they were trendsetters. They did it with Ozfest, and then when
is all Sharon. She is a businesswoman.
And then when they did the reality show, that kicked off a bunch of stuff because then Gene Simmons did it. I think Dee Snider did it. Hulk Hogan did it. So there was just a lot of people that followed, and that just again, they were always forward thinking about some of this stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And again, back to this.
It curled a culture. The mindset.
The culture versus mindset. I'm hoping for like a beautiful send-off for Ozzy. That's what I want it to be. I want Ozzy to sing a couple of songs. When early 2000s, when he came out with that song Dreamer, just beautiful. It's just a simple, beautiful.
Well, he did a nice thing with Kelly, his daughter, for Changes. They did a nice rendition of that. I mean, look, Ozzy's always did some pretty good stuff. Now, granted, the albums that he's done within the last decade are not that great to me. He's trying to be up hip because he's performing with other modern artists. So like, Papa Roach and stuff like that he would do songs with on his albums. But those aren't the things that really connect with me. Like, I'd rather just have Ozzy doing an Ozzy record. That's not a part of that. But I think they're just trying to appeal to a bigger audience as usual, especially since rock isn't like hip now, really, in terms of.
We just saw.
Well, I mean, like rock, like Aussie rock, like it's we have these newer bands that are kind of breaking some molds, like Sleep Token and Ghost, like they're doing different.
But Ghost has been around for 15 years.
Right, but they weren't as popular as they are now.
No, I get that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think.
I mean, the sad thing is not this record. They just did the one before, the one that I don't really like. That's the one that blew up for them, huge.
But again, I'm thinking the tide is changing. I think people are kind of leaning more into the rock.
Yeah, you hope so, because the thing is, though, I've been saying it for 15 years. There's a lot of great rock bands that nobody talks about, and
Blackwater, Holy Light, like
perfect example.
Those girls are so hip, so cool, beautiful voices, and very talented. And I didn't really know much about them. You did. We went to see them in live, and I'm like, these girls are cool. I want to be them. I want to be their friends. I want to hang out with them. Like, they are really, really cool, and they sound cool, and they also have a very retro vibe. Like they all kind of have like a Farrah Fawcett haircut and tattoos, and they just are amazing. Like listening to their songs, if you have never heard a Blackwater Holy Lights song, the beautiful thing about them, and I'm saying this from experience because I only had heard like a couple of songs, you can go to an entire concert and still enjoy it because they're that good. They're very, very like entertaining. Their music is good. Their sound is good. And
Well, beautiful voices, just good lyrics, and really that's what it comes down to.
And they're fun.
Yeah, nice girls. So now we're going to dive into a little bit of the more other part of the entertainment world.
Ooh, what are we entertaining, mister?
Because Al Pacino's horror film.
I did share this with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I love Al Pacino. I love him. And I love that he just loves money. I love that Al Pacino will do anything. He'll just take any role because he's like, you know what? I'll take this role.
Well, yeah, and so it's a movie called The Ritual, and I don't think I've even watched it. When did it come out? This year,
I think.
Yeah. So
it got a 3
it's
out
directed
of
by
10.
David Medell, and it stars Pacino and Dan Stevens, who is
Ashley Greene.
Yeah. And so, like, it's not like there's a lack of talent in the acting department or anything, but it's got like a 3 out of 10. I think that's Collider doing that one there. This
6%.
Yeah.
At one point it was 0.
Yeah.
When I read that, I did. I'm sorry, Al. You don't know me. You don't care. You're
Well, Al was
Scrooge
better
from
when he did
Swimming.
the Keanu Reeves, the Devil's Advocate. That was the better horror type of film. It was more creative. So I mean, I'm almost tempted to watch this just to see how bad it really is. And I love Ashley Greene and Dan Stevens, so like it'd be kind of surprising that
Dan Stevens is the owl, right?
What do you mean the owl?
In The Watchmen.
No, he is. He's the Beast in Beauty and the Beast, and then he's also he's Trapper from Godzilla X Kong. So he's the love interest.
These are stars.
Yes. So, very good actor. In fact, we saw. Did you see Abigail, the vampire girl?
No.
Ballerina. Okay, so he was in that as well. Very good actor.
Okay, so who is this fucking director who wrote this? Who took these people who are talented and turned them into, like, dinner theater quality? And I'm saying that as a dinner theater quality actress.
So I love how, like, when I go to look The Ritual, they give me the 2017 one, which they reference is another movie. But if I want to get to the down and dirty, I'm going to have to be more specific.
Oh my God.
So let's see. Let's get a little information here. Where's the IMDb? There we go. Okay. So yeah. So let me see what else this guy's done, if anything.
Who? David
Medell. And so I just want to see if he has anything else to credit. So nothing of note. He's only done 5 or 6 other films. It's written by Medell and Enrico and Natali.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just.
We're talking about Tony Montana here. We're talking about, like.
Yeah, The Godfather.
No.
He was in The Godfather.
Yeah, he was. He was also in Scarface.
Yes, we know. Oh, so even the
Serpico!
Yes.
This is, oh my God, I'm looking at all. Donnie Brasco, Dog Day Afternoon. I forgot he was in House of Gucci. Yeah.
And the girl, Abigail, she was in the Stranger Things series for a little bit. So.
Oh, yeah. And I think you'll agree with me. Al Pacino's greatest role.
Oh, and
yep. Actually, I think his greatest role is Scarface, but like,
Oh, everybody will say that.
mhm.
I mean, he's been in a lot of great films. I need to go back and revisit Heat. A lot of people are talking about that lately.
Ooh,
I haven't seen that in years.
Me either. But he has such a catalog of movies, like just movies. Even if you think they might be kind of bad, this is debuting at 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
But here's the thing, right? Okay, so here's something interesting. So the critics are giving it 8% at this point. The audience, 66. That's still way different than the critics. So what is it about this that the critics really hate? Because like even though the audiences aren't like blown away, the critics are just killing it. So let me see.
When can we see? Is it in theaters or?
I'm sure it is. So let's see. So one person says, ultimately, this is a work that could be used for viewers fascinated by its subject matter, although others will find little offered in terms of horror entertainment value.
I like this. Despite the low ratings of these projects, Pacino has starred in multiple highly praised and acclaimed movies.
There's an exorcism script out there that Al Pacino and Dan Stevens would crush, but it's not The Ritual.
Is it one of those? Is it really that bad? Like everybody says it about Starship Troopers. Like,
fuck them, dude.
What is Starship Troopers Rotten Tomatoes like critics? Because the critics hate Starship Troopers, but I have nothing but love for Starship Troopers. Like forever and ever. I could watch it 100 times.
Yeah. Yeah, so critics are 72%. The audience is 70%. It's still much higher for me for both of them. Get down.
Shaky.
You guys are ridiculous.
I just fed them. They're so bad.
This is ridiculous. Can't do a show without you guys acting like assholes.
It's not night time either.
Let's see. What else we got going on here?
I need to see The Ritual. Is it in theaters or is it so bad that it went like direct to video now?
Might find this on Tubi at some point.
Tubi.
Yeah, it's literally what's playing down in Salisbury. So it's out.
You don't like that theater though.
No, I don't. But it might be at the one that we go to too. I just didn't really look any specific. So yeah, if you guys want to read the article for this, it's on Collider.
I need to see this movie now because
just so we can torch it.
But we might love it. Girlfriend. That's it. I'm coming to get you.
So ridiculous.
Do you guys have hats? Because
you guys want cat?
We have two who think that they're being neglected.
They're so ridiculous.
I mean,
well, next, this is a little more serious.
Oh no, I don't want serious. I want fun.
Jared Leto accused by 9 women of inappropriate behavior, hitting on teens, assaulted and traumatized.
I heard about that. Like, Jared Leto has always been a weirdo and like always was dating models and stuff, especially back in the early 2000s. And some of these models are coming forward. They're like, I was only 15. I was only 16.
Well, here's a question for you because you're a woman.
I'm a woman.
So,
I have the lady part.
I don't know if it's still accurate now, but I know DiCaprio was involved with a 19-year-old model.
Yeah, but she's 19.
Okay, but what is your stance? Because a lot of people think that that's considered pedophilia still, like, because even though he's in his 60s, maybe.
If you can sign a contract and fight for the United States in the military.
I mean, personally, I consider her an adult. She can make her own choices.
Yeah,
but a lot of people think that, like,
the
he's
age
grooming
difference.
her, which I don't
No,
agree
I
with
mean, like
either.
the age difference is a little jarring, but for me, they've created this line for a purpose, right?
Yeah.
There used to be no line. And you used to be able to beat your wife. Like it used to be, you keep it in the house, you keep it, that is your business. Wives, even older wives into their 30s, 40s, 50s, if your husband beat you, you can't accuse, or if your husband raped you, you could not accuse him of anything because you kept it in the house. That's how it was dealt with. If we are going to start like accusing people, we made a line. 18 is the adult age, right? Like
Right.
if we're making this line as a society and Leo is dating someone who's 19, that is an adult. I know people.
Now that's not the case of what's going on here.
No, they are underage. They are teenage, still in high school girls.
Leto's alleged behavior was brought to light partly due to a 2012 Facebook post Los Angeles-based DJ Ali Talese reshared via her Instagram stories recently. And she says, "You're not really in LA until Jared Leto tries to force himself on you backstage in a kilt and a snow hat," she wrote. And she then claimed, "I was assaulted and traumatized by this creep when I was 17.
So this is the other part too, is these women are claiming that they have been assaulted and traumatized by his affections.
So is Leto the singer of 3:30 Seconds to Mars?
Yes.
I did not know that. Oh, wow. Did not know that.
And we also have to think about, because I see what you're saying, the frontman knew her age but didn't care. We also have to go back in time because a lot of underage things that were kind of sketchy in the 60s, 70s, and 80s were not technically crimes until they started defining, like, and I'm not saying it's okay either, so don't think I'm saying that
See, I don't even want to say that it was not necessarily a crime. I think just at the time.
No, but what I'm getting at is I think Jared Leto is getting a big head, like I'm a big star.
Well, they all do.
So I think I can just be with 15-year-olds, and that is probably part of the problem.
Well, there's a lot of problems.
Well, yeah.
And one of my biggest complaints about a lot of this is it's unacceptable for this guy to do this, or anybody in a rock star fandom or athletes or whatever. But one of the issues too, and this I've observed this growing up in the 80s rock and glam rock, and watch girls who would flaunt themselves at these guys. I had girls that I knew that were underage that said that she bumped into Michael. I think I was 12.
12?
Yes.
Shit.
And this girl was probably around the same age, and she literally told me, if I ran into Michael Jackson, I'd drop down and start sucking his dick. I was like, and you have to understand, I didn't know what sex was at that point. I was like, what? Like, I just couldn't believe I was listening to this from a girl that was around my age. And same thing with one of my ex-girlfriends when she said if she ever met Dave Mustaine, the same thing. And she was only about 16 or 17. So
he's just taking advantage of.
Yeah, so he's wrong. But then I have to say to myself, what is going on with the raising of these girls? And we've always talked about this over the years with the groupies and everything else.
Yeah, like how?
So it's bad that these guys are doing this, but then these girls
totally
are literally throwing
of
themselves into the mixture.
Yes,
it's and then now,
but
who knows if this girl? I don't want to say she did it purposely or anything, but who knows if she's one of those people that did that. And now it's just regretting it. So that's the other thing. So it's like, why do we not hear about this stuff at the time? Now, obviously, some of it's because if you're the only one, then you think you're just going to be crucified through the media and the fandom. But
I remember when Courtney Love came out about Harvey Weinstein, and she was like crucified, and everybody just
the first one was Rose McGowan.
But everybody just because
She was smart though, Rose, because she sued them, and then they did their settlement, and she got money. But one of the stipulations she's made is, I will not sign an NDA, and so they allowed it to go through, Harvey and them. But she was allowed to tell her sale.
Well, that was the thing, because Courtney Love, she was kind of fucked up all the time, but everybody just wrote her off as being kind of.
But she was crazy.
A crazy person, a drunk, a drug addict.
Yeah.
But she said he is a problem. He's dangerous, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I wonder if some of these other girls like kind of felt this way about Jared Leto. Like, I mean, let's look at Bill Cosby, America's dad. And while he's being America's dad back in the 80s, he's roofing women and assaulting them. So, yeah, we always wonder, like, how do these young girls end up in these situations? But these adults are taking advantage of them. They should know better. And I also think because they look at the past and they're like, oh, well, this is what so-and-so did, or this is how it was back in the day. I'm a rock star. I can, screw my groupies or screw these women without consequence.
That's a trend that unfortunately was set a long time ago. And that's stuff that really needs to change within the industry, because that's why you got a lot of these cases like this. But I also have to say, I find it very, very important that parents need to be more active when it comes to stuff like that, because I know that teens tell their parents all the time, like, no, I don't want my mom and dad there with me while I'm at the concert, but this is why. This kind of shit here is why it's important that you are.
Well, look at this. Model Laura LaRue. She's been a model when she was 16 and he was 36.
Yeah.
So I think about my stupid self when I was 16. Like, what was I doing when I was 16? And if there was a handsome, eccentric man, because I was kind of eccentric and I still am, and this eccentric man came onto me, and he's 20 years my senior and I am 100% a minor, it is so easy to take advantage of these young girls. Regardless of, is it right, is it wrong, you're sitting there thinking, like, it's just so many sides to this cube. Because me thinking back to my youth, I'm like, I know now, I'm an old lady now, and I'm still self-conscious. When am I going to get to the point where I'm like, I don't give a fuck, where I'm wearing like my muumuu and my curlers and I'm having my afternoon cocktail? And I haven't gotten there yet. So women, super young women, 14-year-old women, are always, you feel self-conscious and you're seeking like external validation. So when you have that from someone, it is so easy. What is that? What are you reading?
This girl says, we ended up hooking up a little bit at the club, she recalled. Further alleging they hung out a few times at his house, but he was weird.
Yeah.
Look, I know some people are kinky and that's fine, but his kind of kink, it just didn't feel right. So I wonder if he's like a furry, because all the times he's
all those
been
pictures. Yeah. I mean, I feel for these girls, because like your brain is not even developed enough to handle it, right? Like, you're so young, you cannot understand.
During one of the visits to the home, the woman alleged the musician pulled his penis out and started masturbating.
Uh-huh.
Then he walked over, grabbed my hand, and put it on him. He leaned in and said, I want you to spit on it. Oh my God.
This dude is a piece of work.
Yeah. But again, man, like, it's harder because of this industry. That girl is a model at 16, so I can guarantee her parents aren't with her all the time, which
No,
they should be, but they're not.
But we hear about this too. These young women are pushed into things that are super adult. They're pushed into things that involve drugs and alcohol. Like,
Jared Leto expressly denied all the allegations.
he better, like.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you feel like that, it's not, not kosher.
I mean, like, let's be real. Like, you and I went to parties in high school where alcohol was there, but I have seen some of these documentaries about these women who were models and the shit that they went through, and like they becoming drug addicts because they're trying to stay skinny, or just drug addicts because it was around, and being pushed into things. It's different than you and I. I'm not saying, and again, I'm not saying these girls are doing anything wrong. Like, they don't deserve it.
It's not.
But what I'm saying
there is nuance here in terms of how we kind of tackle the problem.
Into these positions,
yes,
that are not fair, because
there's a couple things that
you made the perfect example. You said these women, they're like the breadwinners of the family, especially if they're like, these models are making money that their parents are not making. So like, the parents are not around. They're just not there. So you're forcing children into adult interactions way before that they can even handle it.
Yeah. Well, let's get into our
Give me
last
something happy.
topic. Yeah.
Give me something fucking happy. Are there clowns and ponies and rainbows?
Sorta.
Okay.
So pop star set to play Paul Stanley in the upcoming Kiss movie.
Oh shit.
Pop star Nick Jonas is set to portray Paul Stanley in the upcoming Kiss film, Shout It Out Loud. Singer is best known for 1/3 of the Jonas Brothers, along his brothers Kevin and Joe. In addition to his band of solo recording careers, Jonas has frequently starred in Broadway shows, including his current run in the last 5 years.
Oh, he's doing the last 5 years?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's an emotional.
According to Deadline, Shout Out Loud will be directed by Mick G, whoever the fuck that is, whose credits include 2000 Charlie's Angels and 2009's Terminator Salvation. Charlie's Angels, not bad. Terminator Salvation sucked. The movie will focus on Kiss's rise to fame, which is cool, in the 70s. Filming is expected. I wonder who's going to play Simmons. That would be interesting. Simmons would probably say, I want to play Simmons. No one can play me.
No one can play him but him.
He says, just de-age me or something. The article notes that Jones will do his own singing in the movie. That's very cool. He has a voice.
Yeah, he's a singer.
And will need time to train to replicate the jet engine vocals of Stanley. Do you think they're going to do the disco? Yeah.
You were
This won't be the first time Kiss was portrayed in a movie, in addition to starring as themselves in 1978's much of maligned Kiss Meets the Fan of the Park, a very bad movie. The band appeared in 1999's Detroit Rock City, which was good.
Rock City.
Yeah. So there you go. Stanley and Simmons also appears themselves in full costume and face paint in the 2006 comedy Why Him? I'd assume too they're going to probably have cameos from the guys in this film.
I hope they have cameos from the guys, and they're like something ridiculous, like a janitor.
Yeah,
or,
see that would make it fun, because if they're just going to do like an aging rock star or a business like a mogul, I don't want that. I want them to do something so fucking off the wall. Like,
yeah,
it's like,
he's like, I'm a balloon salesman, But I actually
like if Gene was like the guy that is coming to the band to offer the roles of the Phantom of the Park, like that would be funny. Like he's like, I got this great idea for a movie for you guys.
I actually read something recently about Paul Stanley. He was doing an interview, and he swears he never was addicted to drugs or alcohol. He was addicted to shoes.
Who was Stanley? He's addicted to women too.
That's his thing. He would see.
Claimed he slept with like 10,000 women.
I feel so sorry for Shannon. Oh my god, and she's hot.
I don't think they're even together anymore, are they?
No.
it took her like 2 decades to get over it.
She was hot from 1970
But
until
so that kind of goes
current.
back to my whole thing about a lot of the rock stars, Heather Locklear, Valerie Bertinelli. They were
Mhm.
always in love with the rock stars, the image, the idea behind it, but they also admitted to understanding that their boyfriends were never fucking faithful.
And
it's like, but why would you want that? Like,
they loved the scene when they were in the scene.
yeah, and Valerie did make I remember she was being interviewed years ago, and she said something to the effect of, I'm addicted to Eddie. That's what it was. She was addicted to Eddie.
Well, I mean, remember the Pamela Anderson documentary that we watched? She's married now, and she said, I will never be able to replicate that love. Like, I think
she was addicted to big cocks.
Mhm.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Dudes who
Tommy Lee, Brett
dudes
Michaels,
who can steer their boats with their dicks.
You're right.
I mean, like,
yeah.
but there's something to say about the entire like masculinity. Look at me, I'm a front-ish man. The rock star vibe, the partying, it's something about that. And I also think too, and I will just say this, not even related to being with a rock star, because I've never been with a rock star, but I have fallen for guys based off of appearance, right? Like they give you like a good month of something on the exterior, and then all they do is treat you terribly and lie. And I'm wondering if these girls, ladies, women now, if that's what it really was, is like it was so intoxicating at the beginning. Like,
yeah, because Heather said the same thing. Well, she was married to Tommy 1st, and then she married Richie Sambora, and so it's always the same thing. She's like, I don't know what it is. I'm just attracted to rock guys, and like that's just the thing. But it often also tells me like neither marriage worked out, and it's like there's a reason behind that. So like, now with Richie, I don't know if it was due to infidelity or anything, but Tommy clearly could never keep it in his pants. It was just something he could never do.
Well, we've seen what his penis can do.
Right. But the reality is like, I don't know why any woman would want to subject themselves to that. Like, no matter how much awesomeness it is that these guys are infectious or whatever, it's just, unless you just don't value yourself, because that's, to me, that's sort of
or
like
if
what
you
you're
don't
saying.
Care, like,
well, they cared at some point. Like, eventually they all walked away, but maybe they just, I don't know, maybe it's some money. I don't know. Like, it's not like the sex is probably good, but I'm just saying that, like, at some point, I'm just wondering, like, eventually they walked away. If you didn't care, you just wouldn't care. I think
some of these women, like I said with Pamela Anderson, they were together for a long time, and remember, Tommy had substance abuse problems, and she even tried to like help him through that. Like, she truly was so invested in him. And I'm wondering too, like, if these women are turning a blind eye to the cheating, they're okay with that up to a point until they feel like they're being disrespected and taken advantage of. And obviously, if you're being cheated on, you are being disrespected and taken advantage of. But what I mean is, like, overtly to your face. So I think these guys, they do the wink, wink, nod, nod, and we're gonna, sneak and cheat. But when they get a little bit too much, too big for their britches, and they start like cheating, they throw it in their wives' face, like, look who I am.
Well, they probably more like, you knew who I was. This is what I do, and so on and so on. Anyway, things to come on the Military Radio podcast. Wednesday, I've got a full deck of stuff.
Do you know?
Mr. Tony Adet, of course, doing our Ghouls of Midnight picks. I chose Deep Rising for mine, and he chose the horrible Dr. Hitchcock for his. So we'll have those up as soon as possible when we record them. Also on Wednesday, I'll be getting together Kevin Lambert for the Cinematic Synergy. It's my pick this time with The Illusionist from 2006 with Edward Norton. Thursday, Kevin Lambert is having another retro movie show. This time we're doing a franchise review of The Karate Kid 1 through 4. And we'll probably chat a little bit about Legends because I know he and I have both seen that film. So we might touch on that as well going into that particular show. Saturday, I'll be joining Anthony Jordan at Movies and Gaming. He's hosting a live review or a revisit to 1975's Jaws 50th anniversary. So we'll be talking about that movie, having a lot of fun with that. I'm also doing the following Saturday with Jedi Grand Mail for that film as well. It's a big month for the Jaws franchise.
Anniversary.
Saturday also, 8 p.m. Eastern, the Silver Screen Savant returns with Olvin and I. And it's his pick of another James Bond flick, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. So we got that coming up. So those are the immediate things coming up in the future for the Middletown Radio podcast. Hope you all enjoyed our first episode of the Cultureverse Mindset. We'll try to do this at least twice a month for you all. And we'll have she's pretty good at getting these articles, so I'm gonna let her handle that part of it. This is her show, this is her thing. So I'm just here.
I like the gossip.
I'm just here to look pretty.
You do look pretty.
But like and subscribe, please, and you'll be able to find us. You'll be seeing our website soon. We're updating some stuff. We're on TikTok now. Instagram is getting going as well.
He's very proud about the TikTok. I don't even have a TikTok, so I need to join TikTok.
I know nothing about TikTok, but we got to be on it. So please like and subscribe. We enjoy the support, and we'll see you next time on the Middletown Radio podcast.
Deuces.
You see me for